Tony, as they say, all good things come to an end. 9 years on, you're parting company with Warrington Wolves. How did all that happen?
Yeah, very professionally, very respectfully, very, I don't know, very, I'm trying to think of the right word, in the right manner. It's good. It's good that we've been able to respect one another, and I mean Warrington and myself, throughout 9 years. And just because it's coming to an end doesn't mean it should end in tears, or it should end in negativity, or it should end in, hostility. And that'd be the furthest thing from my desire to happen, because I've loved working for this great club and working with it and being part of it and being part of its development. And it'd be a shame to finish things in the wrong way. And, when you've been around sport and when you've been involved in my profession and industry, and you sense when it's time, you sense when things are right and when they need to change. And I think it's time for a change for this club. I think they need a new head coach, and I think the players need a new head coach. I think I need some new challenges in my life. I've been here for 9 years, which is, a long time for anybody, but as a rugby league coach, it's a long time. And I think prior to that, my longest was 4 years at Leeds, and I felt restless and needed a change then. But I've managed to find a really nice home here and a good fit with Warrington. I think I came at the right time to help progress the club. I think there were some terrific things that had been done before I'd got here in order for some of the wheels to start turning, whether that be by Paul Cullen and then Jimmy, and and I picked up some of their hard work, and things fell into place, and they've been developing in on and off the field most years and in most ways, but with a few ups and downs and bumps along the way.
When did you start to have the thoughts that it might be time to say goodbye?
Yeah, it's a hard one to put an actual, pinpoint an actual. You just sense. And, we start talking about things, Simon and I, and yeah, you get a feel. I don't know. It's instinctive a bit, and a little bit of I think somewhat if you're not having the impact that you'd like to have, or if you're not able to play in the style or get your team to play in a style that you're probably used to or comfortable with, or being able to probably be excited about in the past, if it doesn't, maybe it's time for you to go, and to think about other things.
So if we'd have been sort of competing for the grand final at this stage of the season, we wouldn't be having this conversation?
Yes, we would. Yes, we absolutely would. And this is where I could be wrong on this, but this is where it isn't about where we're finishing or how we've finished or the season we had. I don't think we've played much different to how we played last year, and we made a grand final and we made a Challenge Cup and we won the league leaders. I didn't think we played fantastically well last year, but we had, at times, enough talent on the park at times to get home, and pick up the points, or just get through enough to get us to those next. Style in which we played, manner in which we played, I thought it was a bit of a struggle last year. Ben Curry was on the pitch a lot last year for us. That's a big talent that we've missed this year. Chrissy Sandow, whilst he was a handful and a bit of a character around the place, he was a special talent on the field and able to turn games on their head at times. Probably, having those made a difference to picking up a couple of wins where we haven't this year. We've picked up the losses instead. So I think the last 2 years, the style and the manner in which we've played probably hasn't been as close to the style that I've probably been used to coaching. And so, yeah, it's probably been coming for a while, but, you know,
Why do you feel that's happened?
I don't know. It's just, you know, evolvement and how your team evolves sometimes. And you know, it's what suits the team sometimes to play a manner that may be contrary to even some of what you desire. You've got to play to your team's strengths and what they believe in and what they are capable of as well. And so you've got to make adjustments. You can't live in ideals all the time. Not even us coaches can, you know, have our ideals of exact styles that we'd like to, you know, or manner in which, you know, different players have different attributes. And being part of a coach is you've got to then make some adjustments towards what they're able to do and capable to do, and get as much out of that as you can.
You seem quite relaxed about the decision to go. Do you feel as though there's still some unfinished business maybe because you never managed to win the Super League with Warrington?
No, absolutely not. You know, that's not all those the trophies. That's not what I'm about. That's the byproduct of a lot of hard work and a lot of things falling into place. And you know, when a team is able to pull together in the right direction and a number of things line up, you might get a trophy. You know, it's damn hard to win trophies, and it's, you know, as much as we get expectations and because we've done it before, well, and you know, we can say we should do it again and all that sort of stuff. There's other teams out there that are improving and, you know, and recruiting differently, and you know, sometimes come up with certain teams and combinations that make it very, very difficult to succeed each and every year. You know, it's just not the nature of sport. It's so hard to do that. So what I will say is I'm proud of what we've done and each year that we've had a crack at it. You know, I'm disappointed on those occasions where we've played in grand finals and haven't won them. We've been pretty close. You know, not much in them, but gave it our shot. You know, I can walk away from here and walk away saying I'm very honoured and privileged to have coached here, and you know, to get to some of those big games. Wow, you know, how lucky am I? You know, and how lucky am I to have been part of such a great club like this and for so long? And so, why would I walk away with disappointments? I don't judge myself on the trophies. Other people do, and other people may well, you know, say to me, you know, you should have done this or you should have done that. Or my bit about coaching and what I've always enjoyed is the development and improvement of players, and both as people and as players. And I rely on, when they work hard on those aspects, that sometimes the byproduct of that is a trophy. Sometimes. But I love watching young people go out in the training park and work hard. You know, I love them then going out on the field and succeeding at what they've been working hard on the training field. You know, that's, if I've been able to influence that player to go and do that and go and make those changes, and him go on to have a successful career or a successful time on the park or a sense of achievement in his life, well, wow, that's better than any, you know, trophy winning day. The trophy winning day is great for the fans, great for the club in terms of, you know, it's a nice achievement. But for me, the greater days are day to day, week to week, watching people develop.
So, I mean, I've been talking to some of the players, and some of the players feel as though they've let you down this season and they feel responsible for the fact that you're moving on. What would you say about that?
No, rubbish. We're all in it. We're a team, and we all play our part in the good and the bad. So I don't want them feeling like they've let me down. We can all say that as equally. So no, it's, hey, we've been a group and we've been a team and we've been a club, and we share in the successes and we share in the not so successful years. You know, and that's where you find your support too. You know, and there's a huge difference between support and fan. You know, fanatics are there when the good things are good. The support is there to support their team and the people that they love watching and accept when it doesn't go so well. That's what supporters do, and it's really important. And you find out about those sort of things. Hey, we need both. We need both. You know, we can't turn away the fanatics. They're important to us as well, and they're entitled to their opinions, and it's. I'm fine with all that. I love the supporters, though. I love the supporters. I love people who, they come into work and accept what's happened and go, hey. And we have it here where we work at the university, and the dinner ladies, they all come to our games and they're very passionate about it, and they see how hard the boys work, and they see the boys upset the next day after losses and all that, and they support us. They go, we know you're going to get it right. We want you to get it right. We'll help you get it right, and we're going to be there whether you get it right or not. And that's great. That's warming. That's commitment. But that's what support does, and makes people play for support. You like to reward that. Fanatics are, it's a different story.
If you had to pick one highlight from your time at Warrington, could you do it?
Yeah, all those days out watching young people do, players get out there and train and do extras without being asked. Having influenced them to become that sort of player and professional, that's the highlight. They're the days that watching somebody become, gone from being a rascal of a person to, a good human being. And I've watched plenty of those over the years develop and, turn into responsible young men and fathers and all sorts of things. Watching those sort of things develop. Very honoured and, to be part of some of that. But in terms of, rugby league moments, no, very honoured and flattered and lucky to be part of some special moments that we've all shared in, but they're quickly forgotten.
Final question. What's next for Tony Smith? And are we likely to see you back in Super League?
And what's next? I'm gonna have a couple of breaks with my wife and reintroduce myself to her and see if she can put up with me again. I don't know about Super League. I don't know about Rugby League. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think there needs...
Because there'll be offers out there for you to stay in the game, won't there?
I'd imagine so. Oh, well, maybe so, maybe not. It doesn't excite me at the moment. I think we'd need to have some pretty big changes within the sport for me to, in the way that it's run and set up, and just a bit more energy about it before I'd like to jump back into it. Who knows?
Perhaps you better go and get a job at HQ then.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not angling for that way. I just know that, when things stagnate and, hey, listen, it's time for me to have a change, and it's time for my club to have a change. I also, think it's time for some other changes within our sport. And if and when that does happen, well, I think I could then start to get excited about our sport.
When you say changes, is that the actual structure of the way that it's played at the moment? With middle eights and super eights and all that sort of thing?
All that, and how it's administered and run, and
perhaps have a structure where the fans actually understand what's going on.
Yeah, all that. Yeah. Hey, listen, I've said it a couple of times today, and some people have looked at me like, really, what, you're not excited about the game? I think there's a lot of people not excited about the game, which is a real shame. I know there's some people out there that do talk about it, and there's some people within the game that talk about it too. And it's a real shame, and we need to do something about it, and we need to probably protect our sport a bit more than what we do. But before any of that, I need to have a bit of a break and recharge my batteries. And as I said, go and spend some time with the most important person in my life, and see what the next step is for me, whether it's within our sport or not. But I'm excited about getting onto something different. I'll always be proud. I'll always be thankful and grateful for my time at Warrington, and
stay a fan of the club.
Absolutely. You know, I'll always be watching for their results and hoping that they, you know, have successes in the future. I think Leeds, after I left, won the next 3 grand finals or something. So for those out there that like that, I would love that for those that it makes happy. But I just want the club to continue to grow and prosper and become a respected and keep being a respectful and respected club in the competition, whether they win or lose. And I think that's really important. And so Warrington will always play a big part in my heart and in my memories. But it's not quite time for me to go, but 2 more games, and we're really keen to finish this off strong. We're going with a really strong team this week. I would love for them to go and do a really good job this week against Featherstone. It's going to be a tricky game, but then come home and play Hull KR and really finish off, and that'll be a nice way to sign off.
Be quite an emotional day, though.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. But you know, and I think you know, they may well have something planned for after the game on the pitch, and which I'll be, you know, most honoured about. But it's not something that I go looking for. Whilst, you know, I have to deal with the press, and I don't mind it, and I quite enjoy it sometimes, depending on who I'm talking with. Gary, that is. You know, but it's not an aspect that I go looking for. I like.
Okay, Tony, thanks for your time. As a lifelong Warrington fan, I'd just like to personally thank you for everything you've done at Warrington over the last 9 years. I've really enjoyed our interviews over the years, even though they haven't been as often in the last couple of seasons. But just thank you for everything you've done at Warrington. You certainly turned the club round and improved the culture of the club and everything. So from myself and our viewers and everyone I'm connected to, thank you.
Thanks, Gary. I really appreciate it. It's been an honour and a privilege, as I mentioned earlier. But and that's just for doing the interviews. But you know, to do the honour of being head coach of this great club, I'm really proud of it and honoured. So, and it will stick in my heart forever. So.
Yeah. And good luck with whatever you do in the future.
Thank you.
Cheers.